Hello, Merry Christmas, and welcome back to my channel. I wish your Christmas is so merry, like I want it to be. And the year coming, I wish it will carry a lot of goodies for you, my viewers. Coming to talk about a happy Christmas, a Merry Christmas, a season of joy. The question is if Nigerians have actually had that happy moments, have actually enjoyed this moment. With the explosions, with the stampedes, with the deaths. One would say that it hasn't been a good one for Nigerians, except that sometimes people want to numb themselves to reality, to feelings, to what actually is, as to be able to make good use of what is left of their lives. You know, there's this video circulating of the mother of the organizers, or one of the organizers of that program, Queen Naomi Chileku. You know, the woman crying profusely to release her daughter. We understand how a mother feels when the child is detained, especially in a lawless environment like our country. But if you ask me now, a lot of families are also mourning. What was meant to be for good turned out to be sour, turned out to be horrible, painful for those who attended it. And if those people were told that from seeking rice, they will be perpetually filled, like they're not going to be hungry again, they won't believe it. But it happened that from Abuja, the west, to the north, to the east, Abuja, people found themselves mourning. How can someone die for a plate of food, for rice, for stipends, for giveaways? That's the most regrettable death. That from Abuja, Oyo State, Anambra State, our people were thrown into mourning because of the level of hunger we have found ourselves in. If anybody had told us that in our own time and era, Nigeria will find itself in this level of destitution, of penury, of lack, that you will see crowds and numbers trooping to receive giveaways, we won't believe it. In our history, it has never happened this way. We have had the less privileged among us, like every other society. We have had people who cannot actually provide maximally for themselves, but we haven't had a situation where our people will be dying in their numbers just to receive aids, just to receive help. The level of hunger in the country is astronomical. When we talk about, some people think we are warmongers, like we like to, talk about troubles and woes. No. Behind the cameras, we know what we see. Behind the cameras, we know what we see. We know what happens. We know how much we are put on the edge to be able to help the little we can. And with that level of knowledge, we know what our people are going through. We know what our people are going through. Look at a situation where that hunger also drove a pastor to be laying curses because of chicken.
I am a pastor. That fowl is 30,000 naira. You that see the person that carry the fowl, you who born the child, and you who they carry the fowl inside the you will die unless you carry the fowl back.
Amen. Whoever bought chicken at such exorbitant amount as 30,000 naira, what we are talking about is the minimum wage of an average Nigerian worker. 30,000 naira, which most states were battling to pay before they started the new promise of a 70,000 naira, which hasn't really come into full play in most states and is still under debate in the country. So imagine a civil servant living on 30,000 naira and then having to run Christmas with that level of hardship of buying chicken as much as 30,000 naira. People in other countries and other parts of the world will not understand what chicken and Christmas means for most West Africans, especially Nigerians. It's like a norm, it's like a tradition that in Christmas you will have to slaughter a chicken for your family. Like, have that fun, it's a tradition. And where you're not able to do it, it's obvious you are less privileged. So imagine someone on such salary having to buy just that item and then other things that follow, other expenses, children clothing, fun fare, and a lot. So would you blame that man who was angered for the loss of his chicken, even though I learned there were two, but let's just keep to the fact that a chicken was stolen. And while I was also disappointed with the man, as a man of God, who we know that as people who are custodians of our spiritual inclinations and values should exercise a lot more restraint, a little bit of tolerance in whatever situation you find yourself. That is a testament to where we have gotten to. That hunger, that lack, that troubles of life can push you towards relinquishing some of your values, throwing them to the mud. Some of the tenets you held so dear, and they are no longer anything to you. But may we never come to that point where material things will make us lose our relationship with God and lose our values and the things we held dear. So let's remind Pastor also too that we are not supporting the causes that we are laid. We are not either supporting whoever stole that chicken. We're only saying that for a spiritual leader, you have taken a course that is not a regular one, that you have sworn to sacrifice a lot of comfort. So that is not a better approach. But let's also not pretend not to know why things have gotten to that point. Looking at the man, you will know also that he may be struggling. So if he had taken that approach to get his chicken back, he felt that was the right thing to do. But that sent shockwaves into my spines and made me realize how far we have degenerated from a people who could fend for themselves to a people who can no longer fend for themselves. While we're still dealing with the issue of stampedes in various parts of the country, we still woke up to the news of explosions, of bombing people in Sokoto.
There has been a recent incident yesterday in Sokoto where the Nigerian Air Force was said to have launched an attack. And the Sokoto state government has reacted that some victims lost their lives. So what can you say about that?
Well, so if you listen to my speech, I made that clear. That we have individuals that still have all those people. And then once you do that, you make yourself a legitimate target. And our appeal is please do not allow them hang around you. Do not give them any support in whatever means. Because once you do that, you make yourself a legitimate target. The incident that happened yesterday, we were appealing to the Southern Operation we conducted, we followed up and ensure that we avoided mistakes as much as possible. If there were other mistakes that came up, we are going to investigate and see. But I can tell you from what we have seen, because we have the videos of everything that happened, there were criminals in that place. Anybody that toyed with them was part of them. And so we continue to do our operation to not. Like I said again, we want to appeal to media. Please always understand that also those guys want to use the media to send their own message across. And that's why it's dangerous not to just agree to whatever it is they are saying. We have been transparent since we have come on board. Everything that's happened, we look at it and we tell you anything we don't know, we'll find out and get back to you.
This is not acceptable. We will always tell these people that we call our leaders that some of the things that befall us under their watch is not acceptable. What is leadership for? To ensure that it never, ever happens, that it's not recorded in the history of our existence, that our people are exposed in such a manner that they are defenseless. And so heartbreaking that it is the military always giving excuses. This is not the first time, not the second time, not the third time. Within short intervals that the military is saying that they were targeting terrorists and they bombed citizens. And they will come out to tell you that the terrorists live within the citizens. That is the more reason you should be careful and should not take whichever approach you have taken that has caused the lives of innocent Nigerians. Is it a crime to be a Nigerian? Is it a crime to live in your country? That you come and tell Nigerians that because you are looking for terrorists, you bombed their fathers, you bombed their mothers, you bombed their children, you bombed. In fact, you took sleep away from their eyes in the festive season. This is unacceptable. And this issue of Lakrawa, or which terrorist group that has come up in the north now. Recently, the Niger authority has come out to say that there is complicity between the Nigerian government and France with these terrorists to destabilize the region. Even though the government has come out to say that it's unfounded and that there is no truth in it. But the way we have seen them operate makes it look like it's truth and makes Nigerians point accusing fingers to this administration. And you know one thing with the Tinubu administration, if you have noticed, they are always very fast to come out to either condemn something, reject it, refute it, deny it, only for it to later become truth. And there's always an element of truth in these accusations. So whether or not it's true, we don't cry enough. We don't cry tired. Nigerians have had enough of these pains. It's too much. It's even so ashamed that every day sad news comes out of this country. And the people that call themselves leaders are not declaring state of emergencies to fix these things. They are busy partying and doing stuff like nothing is happening in the country. And to our surprise, we saw our president yield to a media chat. A media chat that felt like he shouldn't have even come out to show himself. A hardened man that is not in tune with the things happening in the country, that never adjusts any of his stance on serious matters affecting Nigerians, always bossing around things and reminding Nigerians that he's in charge. They should allow him lead like he's a military dictatorship. Nigerians are complaining seriously, and you don't see anything in all the things they complain about. That media chat, a media chat that saw the journalists involved so terrified, like they're in front of one monarch that you dare not speak anyhow. There were things they were supposed to engage the president on, they never did. They were just like heaping sands on him until they managed that length of time and left. It was a difficult interview. Difficult in the sense that they were not free to practice before this man, before our president. They were not free to ask pertinent questions, like people who have been conditioned that you can never do like this, you can never do like that. So terrified that the purpose of that interview, I don't know what to call it. The president said he's not going to probe the service chiefs. He said he's not doing anything concerning his subsidy issues. A man that was even proudly saying how his policies has affected his friends who can no longer fuel their expensive cars, indicting his administration and the successes of the policies he has enacted. It's so unfortunate. The president never, ever made mention of the fact that there is hunger in the land, and never told Nigerians what his administration is doing to stop the downward splits into poverty that Nigerians are facing. He still feels that Nigerians are pretending and they are exaggerating these things. That is what Mr. President feels. He's not looking inwards to engage Nigerians locally, looking inwards to provide security so that our people will return to their farms. He's still moving around, telling you that he's looking for investors in Nigeria, when internally our people have not been maximized, have not been used to their full potential to solve the problems of the country, looking for who to come and invest. Brazilians made you promise. You are in France, and then you garner 2 point something, 2 points, how many billion dollar loan. All those kind of things are not things a president is proud of and should come to a national media chat to be voicing. Clueless, helpless, yet so pompous that the problems we find ourselves in is not near being over. So it's so pathetic. Instead, Mr. President is so proud that for over 25 years, he has been distributing palliatives for Nigerians or to Nigerians. He's been distributing palliative at Bodilon. Somebody who has had that experience for more than 25 years, being a governor, now a president, and is still not learning from his experiences over the years to work towards stopping that. They are proud to be the ones doing giveaways. It's not sustainable to have your countrymen line up at your gate always to collect stipends, to collect food items in their bowls and plates like Marjorie people. It is not acceptable. If this president was competent enough, that experience alone over those number of years should have been something tangible enough to assist him in developing models for food banks, poverty alleviation in different areas, and more effectiveness, even as #1 citizen of the country, and not to be proud that they have distributed palliatives and nobody died in the process. Many of the sufferings our people have gone through, can we recall? This is within just a week that all these things are happening. People can no longer travel for the Christmas. Transports skyrocketing from 30,000 to 50,000 to different regions of the country. On top of that, now their so-called military, they cause hold up in a flashpoint in the bushes of the highways of the southeast. Look at it.
This is the military checkpoint at OP. You can see what these people are causing here. The road is fully blocked. Can you watch the go slow from here to far? You can't believe it. What is happening here? You can't believe it. See, go slow. This is unbearable. Please, let it too deep make a call to those who are at OP Junction. OP, those army at OP, so that to open this door. They open this road for motor to pass. This is too much. You can watch what is happening. See the go slow here. Everywhere is blocked. Soldiers were causing it. It is soldiers that are causing it. At OP Junction, at OP towards OP, those soldiers there, they are causing this go slow. Please let them make a call to them. Let them make a call. Let there be a call. Let there be a call for Etudiv. Etudiv will make a call.
Look at the military blockages in the southeast. If anything happens on that road now, those fleets of vehicles will be affected. The people will be affected. No exit, no safety, nothing. If any car catches fire in that trail now, everybody will be affected. Can Mr. President, whoever is in charge, talk to these military people to stop making life unbearable for people in that part of the country? There is no war going on there. This military presence that is causing the problems we are facing is untoward. And the worst part of it is that crimes will still happen with all these military blockages. Crimes will still happen. You will still hear that they have kidnapped somebody. You will still hear that they killed one person. You will still hear that all the things they said they are protecting against happened. So who do we hold accountable? Who do we hold responsible for all these things? My heart goes out to Nigerians. I have cried my own bit. I know many of them are crying. And I'm praying that God console us and bring us to a state, a time in our life that we will see peace and be proud of that country, of our country. And in the FCT, Wike is also busy talking that he's not grabbing land. He's the landlord of Abuja. Who made you landlord? He's not even a governor. He's not a governor. And even if he's a governor, because why I say he's not a governor is that the Land Use Act decree of 1979 conferred power for management of land on state governors. Not that they are the owners of land. Then we can say he's the landlord of Abuja. Who made you landlord? You're only the minister of FCT. You are not the landlord. That you will be displacing Nigerians in their countries in that number. And be bragging that Abuja is your father's inheritance and you can do anything you want to do. Who did we offend? Waiting to us. Who we offend that will be always blessed by the caliber of leaders that we have who are making our lives so miserable? It's unfortunate. But in this new year, God will help us while we walk to come out of these woes. God will help us. Oh. God will help us. So let me not end this whole thing without lightening your mood. There are many Nigerians who are doing great things that the government is not doing. Private citizens, private businesses that are trying to make life bearable for Nigerians, creating jobs, supporting Nigerians, and being ambassadors that launder our image positively all over the world. Forget about your government. It's going to get worse in the coming years. Brace up. Carry on with you the strength of God and do the little you can. Once again, I wish you a prosperous new year. A new year that you can overcome. A new year that you can be proud of. A new year that you can surmount despite all these challenges. We are Nigerians. We are good people. We are great nation. All the leaders who are thorns in our flesh, who are not seeing this country as something to call a project for greatness for. Time will deliver us from their hands. Thank you so much for listening. Be a good citizen. Ciao.